Hello everyone and welcome to Vera. We're going to go through the first 5 levels in the Riverlands of Ashes of Creation. We start in the portal room, fresh from our home on Sanctus. We're ready to explore the new frontier and hope that the ancients have left or gone extinct in our civilization's absence. First off, we can explore the room and find additional weapons lying around outside of the portal and in the courtyard outside for anyone who wants to change up their starter gear. Any archetype can use any weapon. But make sure that if you're playing as a summoner, bard, mage, or cleric, you're going to want to make sure it has magic power as its primary damage stat. Then of course, physical power for fighter, ranger, rogue, and tank. There are such things as a magic two-handed sword or a physical power wand, for example, so be aware. We can choose between Samia's Hope on the left or Lion's Hold on the right, so we're going to choose the latter for this run, as it has been tested more thoroughly than the other. And don't forget to select your first skill, like I almost did. The summoner gets to choose their first pet. There's DPS and a healer one, but I chose the tanky guardian to help with soloing. It makes taking out the early mobs pretty painless and without a risk of using too much mana, as you can rely mostly on the guardian's abilities to kill and stay alive. Before we forget, I'm going to mess with some settings. Especially make sure under gameplay and combat that we turn auto attack on and make sure our PvP settings are where we want them to be. I recommend making force PvP having to be used so you don't accidentally hit other players and become flagged. But be aware, you'll need to press the default Alt key to fight back if someone attacks you. Either way, it's quick work to handle the 5 goblins, as they are fairly weak since they are sick. I'm assuming that they used to come up here to pass on before we showed up and started handing out one-way tickets to Pound Town. Before heading down the road to Lionsguard Nottingford, we get our new necklace and get some rewards from the Destiny system, which have easy goals for us to complete as we play to get extra XP and glint. There are also milestones in each tree where you will get a loot chest to nab some rewards from. They are usually healing potions, mana potions, and the like, so don't forget those. As a summoner, I like to grab our pet heal, Reconstruct, first, which is a decent heal over time, which strengthens the Guardian even more than we do. And with a quick hop, skip, and a jump, down to Commander Avonmore. Turning in Welcome to Vera will net you some glint in our very first mount. It's a little slow, but animal handlers can tame wild animals to create cooler and faster ones. The next quest has us attuning to an Ember Spring, which is a great idea, as if we die, we can choose our home point to respawn at, as well as the nearest discovered Ember Spring. So we'll have to make sure that if we see one nearby, to go and discover it without attuning to it. So we have 2 options. Upon completing this quest, we'll grab a Shadow of Proof to continue what amounts to Ashes of Creation's main quest, which will have us heading out of town to the south to find one of the Inquisitors named Colesbury. Also, some quests will reward us with a chest where we can choose from some loot. For these starter quests, magic-based archetypes will most likely want to choose light armor, as it has the stats that we need right away. Note, there are medium and heavy armor sets that can also have intelligence and other magic-enhancing stats, so keep an eye out for any that may drop or be crafted as well. Remember to keep an eye out for completed destinies, because I always forget. On our way out, there's another quest to grab from Caroline that will have us collect ancient wood near where we will eventually have to go, so I'm going to grab it and continue on. Our immediate quest is a pretty quick one to find a body in the nearby field. It can be a good idea to do a bit of grinding here if there are any mobs around, and head on back to Colesbury when you're ready to continue. We then must go find some evidence from some bandits, but first we'll head in the direction of the ancient wood with a quick stop to take out a robed stranger to grab a wax sealed note off of his body. Once acquired, it's time to find some wood for Caroline. They can be a bit of a challenge to get, as only one player can loot a spawn at a time. Once everything is gathered and some bandits are smited, I'm going to turn this one in and head back to town. Although I did just notice I have a weapon skill point, hence as we kill mobs in Ashes of Creation, we'll be getting weapon XP alongside adventuring XP and settlement XP. The weapon system is still pretty basic, It is a work in progress, but for now we have a basic tree that is slightly different for all melee and ranged weapons, which have different effects to choose from. Now as we get back near the lumber mill, I'm going to be stopping quickly to discover the objective and gather the evidence from a bandit for our dear Inquisitor friend. I did happen to choose Disintegrate as my new skill, if you were wondering. Of course, feel free to do these quests over here in any order you wish. This is just how my dumb brain works. Next, we head back over to Helm Lord Avonmore, who wants us to head out to the temple grounds to the northeast of Lionhold. So on our way, we'll grab a couple of goblin killing quests that'll have us go after some rock throwers and random junk that all goblins drop. There's a third one that I couldn't seem to get to complete, so forget about got goblin goods for the time being. Perhaps in a future patch, it'll be easier to complete. If we head up the stairs to the right, we'll be able to get to where the rock throwers are. They respawn pretty quickly, so it's only a matter of time before the quest is complete. On the way back, there's a 1-star mob that I recommend taking out whenever you pass it by. The rating means it's more powerful than the run-of-the-mill gobbo, and the more stars a creature has, the tougher it's gonna be. Depending on the archetype we're playing and the level difference between the mob and us, we can most likely solo up to 2 stars with a chance of killing a 3-star if our gear is right and we play well. Of course, that is subject to change based on testing. Onto the temple grounds itself, and we get to kill many more goblins. I also did a bit more grinding here beyond the quest, trying to get the elusive goblin goods to drop, with still no avail, but perhaps you'll have better luck than me. I have seen some confusion with this one, as even if you kill seers now, once you kill the 5, you will then need to kill a seer to look for clues. Either way, once enough goblins are defeated, it's time to head on up to Ritualist Merwin to continue our quest into the undead-infested ruins above to cleanse some roots with the Heartwood extract. Super quick and easy, especially with other players around. Probably another good spot to grind if there's enough mobs before heading back to town in the ever-present Avonmore. We've got to head to Avon's End next, but before we do, at level 5, the summoner gets a free passive called Defensive Transmutation that buffs our pet's physical defense based on our magical defense, and magical defense by our physical defense. It's a fairly strong ability that I feel like should just be unlocked automatically if the cost is going to remain 0. And as we finally arrive at Avon's End to get our upgraded gathering tools and get our next quest to begin the next leg of our adventure, we're going to take a well-deserved rest. If y'all have any questions, comments, or advice, hit me up down below the video. I'm hoping to continue the journey again soon, or at the very least go through the crafting quests. Either way, I'll see y'all next time.